quý vị, vào tuần trước thì Tô Uyên đã có mặt ở trên thành phố LA phỏng vấn một nữ diễn viên người Pháp. Cô cũng là người mẫu, xuất thân là người mẫu ở bên Pháp. Và mấy năm trước thì cô đã đóng trong phim James Bond chung với nam tài tử người Anh Quốc, đó là Daniel Craig, cuốn phim mang tên Skyfall. Thì trong cuốn phim đó, nữ diễn viên Bérénice Marlohe đã là một trong những Bond girl. Chúng tôi rất là hân hạnh lần đầu tiên được ngồi xuống phỏng vấn người mẫu kim tài tử người Pháp Bérénice Marlohe cùng với nhà làm phim Victor Levin, thưa quý vị, cho cuốn phim mới nhất mang tên 5 to 7, tạm dịch là 5 tới 7. 5 tới 7 nghĩa là từ 5 giờ tới 7 giờ. Thì nó là nghĩa là gì? Đây là một cuốn phim tôi nghĩ rằng là rất là hay và nên đáng đi xem. Cuốn phim này sẽ được trình chiếu rất là hạn chế bắt đầu vào cuối tuần này trong vùng Bắc Mỹ. Và đây là cuộc nói chuyện của chúng tôi với Bérénice và nhà làm phim Victor Levin.
There are two forces on Earth you never want to be fighting. One is Mother Nature, the other is love.
I would like to be the man who walks beside you.
You do walk beside me.
Not just from 5 to 7.
So congratulations to y'all for such a sweet, entertaining, funny film. I have to say I really liked it so much.
Thank you.
What a great cast you put together, because we have Bérénice, we have Anton, we have Glenn and Miss Glenn and Frank.
Yes.
Was that your dream team right there?
Beyond it, actually. I mean, as we assembled each new member of the cast, I couldn't believe my good fortune. I couldn't believe how things were shaping up. Anton came first, and then Bérénice, and then Frank, and then Glenn, and then Frank. Frank and Glenn came almost at the same time, and at that point, my cup runneth over. I mean, I remember going to meet Mr. Langella and just being terrified. I mean, he's 11 feet tall, and he's tall, and he's still, incredibly handsome. And we shook hands, and my hand just disappeared into the massiveness of his hand. And Glenn, of course, absolutely lovely. And I mean, for so long have I admired her work. And Lambert Wilson and Olivia Thirlby. So, we had great producers. They were able to get me an audience with these people, and thank goodness they said yes.
And I really enjoy watching your character. I mean, for those who don't know you're one of the Bond girl, right? So were you nervous when you went to audition for Victor for this role?
I was not, because it's all about, for me, being inspired by a script and falling in love with characters, just feeling that there's something to be told. I want to read something and yes, there is a message, the beautiful thing that can come out of that. And usually when it arrives, the magic of life, I don't know, well, you meet people and you get along and you have the same universe, the same point of view, and this is what happened in Skyfall, this is what happened with Victor, and it was all very natural.
And when we talk about love, each country or each culture define love differently.
Yes, they do.
So how would you define love from your perspective? Because I find it very romantic after...
Wow, that's a tough question. How would I define it? I would say that I would define it, I think, in terms of its symptoms rather than in terms of what it is in and of itself, because that would take a long time. But I think that it is the best thing we've got going as human beings. I think it's incredibly important to human life. I think it goes hand in hand with self-awareness when we're trying to figure out why it is we've been placed on this planet for 70 or 80 years.
Or even 108 years.
And I would only say this, the times that I've been in love are the only times that I've understood what I'm supposed to do.
Bérénice, as your characters begin an affair with Anton's character, Brian William, we're confronted with some real differences between the French and the American culture when it comes to love. Can you share with your understanding about these differences, American-French culture, when it comes to love?
Oh, that's a tough one, because I believe there are differences between countries, but it's most most of all a question of we're all unique and individual, so we approach a loving encounter is so unique. It's rare, you know. So this is why it's beautiful. Then it's between two people that are unique too, you know. And I don't know if there are any how do you say, rules or that can be extricated from that. But for instance, the main difference between the French culture and the American culture, for me, in my experience, when I went to the States to live here, I was so surprised with the concept of date.
Oh, really?
Because I didn't know what it means. So everybody, are you dating or you're dating? What does that mean?
Wait, in France, they don't.
So,
the people don't date.
No, because we don't have a word. You know, it's like
going
you meet someone and then.
What do you call it?
Yeah,
what do you say?
I don't know. It's like a
if you meet a guy and you're rendezvous.
It's a rendezvous, but you don't really put a name on it. But so it was so funny because I don't understand what does it mean.
It's very
What do you
difficult thing to
mean by
explain.
that?
Right. So now, why 5 to 7? Why not 6 to 8 or 7 to 9?
It's an expression, as B can tell you. It's an expression for any sort of extramarital anything. I think it has mostly a sexual connotation, although not exclusively. And in this movie, we do spend time talking about exactly what the term means and exactly how they're using it. But it is a relationship that takes place outside of marriage, at any rate, and 5 à 7. And so we that had to be the title.
Interesting. Bérénice, I have to say, I love how positive and open and joyful your character is in this film. And her smile just lights up the screen.
Oh.
I mean, even in real life now too. But what gives her this incredibly positive outlook, even though she's, she might not be 100% happy or in love or loved.
Yeah, I think as soon as she meets Brian, she starts to connect with her real self and to have appetite for love and yeah, I think this is the trigger.
His intellectual or his sense of humor or his innocence or.
I think it's like, when you meet someone you cannot explain, why, even a friend, someone that is going to become your best friend or your love, you cannot explain. And I think this is when things become interesting. And it's at every level, It's like maybe the alchemy, but intellectually, spiritually, sense of humor. We love the same food. But it's not really cerebral. It's like something you cannot explain. It's like
how many times has the question been asked, why do you love her, why do you love him? And ultimately you can come up with a lot of reasons, but the answer is because I do.
So the scene when Glenn said, okay, I'll just stand instead of sit. That scene, can you just share with us, was that your idea for her character to stand up and then sit down, or was that her idea?
My mom did that.
Your mom did that?
Yeah, my mom did that. She denies it to this day. Really? Mom, I'm sorry to tell this on national television, but it is true. If Dad were still with us, he would confirm it, although not in your presence. She stood up at a table at a deli because she wasn't happy with the chairs. There were 400 other chairs, but they were exactly the same, and she ate her meal standing up. And my father and I'll never forget it, just in rivers of embarrassment, just sitting there. Eating our sandwiches.
But
these are the scars, Mom. These are the things you carry around.
And that's what made you become a successful writer and director today. And we're happy to see Bérénice in the film because you were just really good. You and Anton have great chemistry, though.
Cool.
And, especially those love scenes were just very convincing for viewers like me. So
cool.
Great job. What's next for both of you?
I have 2 sci-fi movies coming out. One was Lipé's called Revolt. It's going to be super, super interesting, substantial too. And another one called The Divider with Dan Stevens. I just finished a comedy. I just finished a comedy produced and featuring Will Ferrell and
what's the name of that one? The Will
This
Ferrell
fall
one?
is Before Dying.
Wow.
This fall is Before Dying. That's Kristen Wiig, Maya Riddle.
Really?
What a great cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Terrence Malick movie that I look forward to see as well.
Does that one have a title yet?
It doesn't have a
Does it?
title.
Maybe you can help Victor. Contact Terrence. Hey, my suggestion.
for this.
Yeah.
How about you, sir? Any,
There's another a movie like this which is in the writing phase, and when I write, I show it to Bonnie Curtis and Julie Lynn, our producers, and they, give me their thoughts, and then I rewrite, and they give me their thoughts, and then I rewrite, and so we're in that period, and it'll be similar to this in terms of romance with comedy, and also I work on the Starz television comedy Survivor's Remorse, which is loosely inspired by the life of LeBron James.
I heard.
And we have a great we have a great time on that. So that's a labor of love as well.
Well, thank you so much for giving
Thank
us this
you.
great
Thank you
film.
very much.
Đó là cuốn phim 5 to 7 bắt đầu được trình chiếu rất là hạn chế vào cuối tuần này. Tá sĩ đến đây thì chúng tôi xin trân trọng kính chào tạm biệt tất cả quý vị và xin hẹn gặp lại quý vị vào chương trình kỳ tới.